Tech companies are developing tools that will be able to detect your mental health and depression. Will they be successful? With 264 million people worldwide suffering from mental health issues, there is surely a requirement for some kind of change, but from which direction will it come? Technology, which necessarily has to pass through the filters of capitalism, or spirituality, which also can pass through the filters of, economics? You could be charged for spirituality. Of course you can be charged for anything. What are we going to do to make ourselves feel better? Who holds the answers? Is it tech, or is it somewhere in the ancient realm? Of course, technology isn't inherently bad, and many of these great giant companies are populated by and were built by brilliant people with a great understanding of humanity and a certain ingenuity. As someone who has had, ongoing mental health issues, I feel like the solution for me probably isn't going to be found literally within tech. Having said that, I do meditation apps, I do watch content on my phone, and that tool is beneficial. I suppose what I'm querying is what could potentially happen with some of the information that would be accessible using that technology. For me, the solutions to depression and anxiety are found in sort of quite simple areas. For example, companionship with people that have a similar understanding of the world to you, or have experienced things that you've experienced. Spiritual practices such as prayer and meditation. Being willing to be of service to others so that I don't spend all of my time inside my own head. So whilst it's kind of fascinating and novel that a diagnostic tool might literally be at the end of our fingertips, the solutions are likely to come, in my opinion, from things that are sort of quite old-fashioned and traditional. The more I learn about evolutionary biology, and I'm telling you now, I'm not learning a great deal, the more I suspect it's necessary for us to emulate the conditions of our evolution if we're to live a happy and healthy life. Most obviously the area of diet. If you eat food that human beings plausibly evolved eating, not things that are in packets, not things that are high in sugar, not all of that kind of stuff, then you have a better chance of having a healthy body. If you use your body in the way that we were evolved to for, millions of years accumulatively, then you're likely to have a healthier body. And I think the same might be true of behavior and thought patterns. If you live entirely enmeshed in a world that is artificial, I think it, in speaking of myself, creates a kind of anxiety and often even trauma. Gary Yurevsky said, "It's time to reconnect with the natural world for the sake of the animals and our collective conscience, because without spiritual health, there can be no physical health." Whereas our man Eckhart Tolle said, "Being spiritual has nothing to do with what you believe and everything to do with your state of consciousness." That's true, isn't it? Because a belief is just a thought that you like having. The state of your consciousness, and certainly having had Eckhart Tolle as a guest on our podcast, Under the Skin, available from Luminary, you might want to check it out. That man is all about stay present, be in the moment. Be absolutely present in the moment you're in. You can never be happy in the conceptual mind.
The most important thing in human life, which is the awareness of space consciousness. And when I say the awareness of space consciousness, it's an error that is through language. Language is a subject and an object, but it's not the awareness of space consciousness. The awareness is the space consciousness. So in space consciousness is so simple to become aware of, just in a moment of no thought, but you haven't fallen asleep, you haven't fallen below thought. I call it, you can either rise above thinking, like right now in this moment, I can see you, and in this moment, you are present, but not thinking. There's nothing to think about. And in this moment, I am present, but not thinking. I'm not preparing the next thing I'm going to say, it just comes out. And you are not preparing the next question you're going to ask, but it'll come, but you don't need to prepare it. So you become familiar with that state of spacious awareness. And that is your essence identity. To be rooted in that, it's ultimately very simple. I don't know why they don't teach that at school. I mean, the most important life lesson It is the transcendent dimension of life, of who you are. To find all the ancient teachings using different terms and different words, they all point to this possibility of realizing the transcendent dimension of who you are.
It's a good episode. In fact, I think it's up on YouTube, link in the description. So in a sense, a new technological advancement could be beneficial if the intentions are right, but the solution to anxiety and depression, in my opinion, doesn't lie in the realm of tech. It's interesting that the ingenuity in the technical sphere has become bolted onto numerous humanitarian issues. Of course, you would use tools. That's what human beings do, is use tools. But when it comes to well-being, it's my personal belief that we have to reconnect with what we are evolved to be like, and we have to find a way of once more aligning with the reality of our inner life, rather than continually adapting to the demands of external life, particularly when those demands are not organic. They are engineered demands that are ultimately organized around certain economic principles. If you've got any mental health challenges that you want my help with, you can email me at help@russellbrand.com. You can become a subscriber to my mailing list. Just click there. We answer questions with the mailing list every single week. If you're into meditation, and why wouldn't you be, have a look at the sort of stuff I do on Above the Noise, also available on Luminary. An agent of chaos can mean that I have a relationship with spontaneity. Chaos and spontaneity can mean danger, but they needn't, God willing, necessarily mean danger. Change comes from spontaneity. There are powerful forces within you that may be inaccessible to you because of your conditioning that's taken place on the level of family, society, all manner of levels. Let's today do a guided visualization aimed at awakening dormant forces within you safely. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at this one. It's a similar kind of video, goes a little bit deeper. If you want to meditate now, have a look at this. Consider subscribing to Luminary. You can get that if you want to. And please, as I say, sign up to my mailing list. Thanks very much.